Hi guys. Okay, so welcome to June. Oh, and funny, luminous warrior flying out. Welcome to the full moon. This is your full moon reading, but this is a very special reading today because the downloads that I got was that it's going to be part of a new reading that I'm going to be doing for you. This is what we would call a 14th zodiac. Well, hello, Oliver. Do you need to come up here? Okay, hurry up. Just don't bark. If you come up, you can't bark. Okay, come on. He's been barky McBarkyson all morning long. Okay, all the way through my circle. But Cetus, okay, which I see as the record keeper. King of Cups often I see as being associated as well, but it is our 14th zodiac, okay? Spirit has come in and kind of explained this a little bit better to me, okay? Because as you know, Ophiuchus is the 13th zodiac, even though technically it's the 9th, it's, you know, placement wise. Cetus doesn't really have a placement, okay? But Ophiuchus and Cetus together are working with all of the zodiacs. And the way they explained it to me this morning was that if you think about a wheel, okay, Cetus is that center, okay? So they showed me Cetus as being Mita, okay, which is turning, time, center, okay? And all of the zodiacs, the 12 zodiacs, are like spokes, okay, going around this circle, and all are connected to Mita, okay? And then we go out to the medicine wheel, to the big circle, right, which is the serpent, which is Ophiuchus, okay, the serpent eating its tail, Ouroboros, okay, whether it's going one way, releasing karma, right, or the other way, right, creating new cycles, it's still in movement. And one of the things that I saw at the very end of my journey space was that some of the people coming in your life are releasing their karma while you're starting new cycles. And it's almost like your wheel's turning this way, but their wheel's turning that way, okay? But they're side by side, okay? And they also are kind of at play together. So again, of course, the moon card came out before my circle, and we were actually talking about moon, Mama Kia, okay, Mother Moon, and the seer, right? We were looking at things. They want me to explain to you Ophiuchus Wasi, right, is home, origin, focus, okay? So think of the center, turning in time, Wasi, right? Because that's the life container is what they've explained Ophiuchus as being to me, right? Like that's all the Kundalini planes intersect into the life container, which is Ophiuchus. And so that is home, origin, right? It's always a new moment, always a new start, and our focus, okay? And it was really interesting because the other two cards that came out were the Corn and the Shaolin Master, okay? So I feel like we are harvesting new knowledge here with this, bringing Cetus in, right? And of course, there's the Oracle, right? Doing that beautiful energy, that important energy of clearing space, holding space, okay, bringing forth important information, and there's the flow, right? And so it's all under this moon that all of this is taking place, which is a really beautiful energy. So let's see what Mita wants to talk to us about, right? What is happening here for Cetus, okay, at the center of everything here for us. Okay, thank you. Okay, we've got the Lodge. Beautiful energy. And then what about Wasi, okay, Ophiuchus, the new life container. All right, sacred site, okay, purpose. Do you see there's our zodiac. Do you see all the light grids running from the center right out of that stone circle? The stone circle really is showing us, like one of the things they were showing me today was the energy of, right, like my daughter is in art school and they are doing 3D perspective. And with 3D perspective, you always have that, right? You have that center point. And then everything comes off of these, right? Those grids, those light grids, okay, to create the 3D. That's really what's going on here, right? The lodge, okay, here, which is council, okay? That council that we're getting here with the oracle energy, that council that we're getting here in the center of this container, in the center of this 3D life, is helping us, right? We're surrounded by all the energies around us, all of those different energies that, from a different perspective, if you're looking at it as a different perspective, it is that sacred site, okay? But everything's moving out to that life path, that Ophiuchus. And the underline here is the south, abundance, but it's my divine lovers, okay? And under that, I've got the hope and the prayer, right? I feel like with this full moon, last night I took a picture, I put it on Instagram. I don't think I put it on the YouTube community. I may have. I had my MRI. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock, and that's when I took the picture of the moon, and I captured Venus as well. So it's probably the coolest picture I've ever taken of the full moon shining with Venus sitting right there. And it's kind of like the energy of this full moon, right? If we think about what's going on, so here in the US, right now in Alaska, they are in that time of 24 hours of daylight, okay? And so for me being in Washington State, that makes sense that the full moon was so luminous, okay, last night, that it was showing the heart. It was showing that Venus energy and opening up to the prayer. And I did open up to prayer last night. And in that prayer, first off, right, the bells here are showing, right, where we are releasing things, right, clearing, harmonizing, which I do believe came in the June reading, which is on Patreon, but it will come to you guys here in the next week or two. But that's the bonus reading for June. But there is that energy of release, right, which of course comes with the full moon. And what I was told is this is a very big wheel turning, okay? And we're on a very big cycle, big shifting cycle. And so this full moon, what we are releasing, is going to take through the full moon of September 29th, 30th. And we actually, because we're getting over obstacles, right? And again, the lovers, divine lovers, the 6, this full moon, okay, June 3rd and 4th, July 3rd, August 1st and 2nd, August 31st, September 29th and 30th. Okay, it's going to take that many cycles to fully release what this big wheel is turning right now. Okay, so I feel like that's very important. Yeah, okay. So let's see what's going on, okay, with our zodiacs around the center, around the Mitta, around, okay, the Cetus, okay, the record keeper, with your timing and things that are turning that you are centered on right now. 2 of Wands. Okay, there is an energy that as far as the wishing goes here, there's a part of you that wants to already be at the end of the cycle. Okay, I get it. You're already merging your energetic field. Okay, you're already merging You're already in partial union here. And there's this desire, whether this is just your own inner union or with a divine lover, right? There's a desire to already be at that end of the cycle so that you could move into that. Okay. And not wanting to look at what you have to release, right? I have to release the energy of being a wounded warrior and move into the energy of being a healed warrior. Okay, because one of the things that the shamanic leader in our group today was talking about was that the idea of being a warrior, right, especially like the luminous warrior, like you can't be a warrior if you haven't fought a war. But you also can't truly know peace and be a peacemaker unless you have gone through war. Okay, so part of what completes this 10 of coins in reverse, it's letting go of the center of your world being about the 3D, about the day-to-day monotony, and instead inviting yourself into the aspect that going within in your divine, okay, your own yin and yang, and letting that lead and guide you as you move through this cycle. Okay, the warring energy here, the star in reverse, and the 6 of cups, right? Again, they're saying to me here, right, like you want to already be moving into October. Okay, you want to already be through this. You feel like your wishes are not being granted, but that's a perspective, because we've got the 6 of cups where the soul bonds are giving back and forth to one another. And so there's this energy of, are you resisting the flow of what is actually being provided from this sacred energy of purpose, of this light, of this moving will? Okay, because what you're learning here divinely, the world, how do I let go of the world? How do I let go of the 3D and flow in a more energetic manner, right? How do I realize that I'm already in union, even if I'm not in union? And how do I find the beauty in the opening up of this beautiful essence of love and giving and intimacy, right? Because there's always going to be things that shock the shit out of you in your day, right? I'm sitting here, you know, in this very sacred space and I'm doing really well, and my desk right now is facing north, and I think it's very symbolic because my hummingbird feeder is right outside the window, and so I see the hummingbirds come back and forth, and some bird ran into my window and it didn't get hurt, but I'm sure it got knocked around a little bit. It kind of was like, whoa, right? But it still was able to fly away. It didn't fall to the ground. It wasn't that bad. But shit happens, right? So things happen, and you're going to go through this energy where, yeah, okay, you got to let go of things, because the essence of being in that magical resonance of love and light is really what you're going for. That's the sacred purpose. Okay, what tears you back and forth between this 7 of Cups, okay, is that you get stuck in all the choices, and you got to think about it, and you pull it into your head instead of in your heart. You're like, I got to think about all of this. What about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? And that becomes a construct that gets you stuck in not allowing your wishes to come true. Okay, and so you go inward, and you go inward here, 2 of coins. You literally tear yourself apart. Okay, look at that little cub. And instead of nurturing one inner child, you're nurturing two. And it becomes more complex. I know, because I raised my brother's twins for quite some time. And it wasn't just the two twins, there was also my niece. And so went from having one toddler to three toddlers, and you have two hands, and you can't see what you're doing, right? She's stepping into this pile of water, and she's like, oh, I didn't see that, like that little bit of water that I just stepped in. And it's this energy of, they're really showing me, because behind her, it's like she's coming through a portal. She's coming through one of these moon cycles. Well, two of these moon cycles, okay, because they're each these children are holding a pentacle that looks like a moon. So she's coming out of this, and it's been very emotional, right? This moon is very emotional, very expansive, being 13 degrees Ophiuchus, 14 degrees Sagittarius. It's this tearing apart energy of doubling up your work, right? And so I can see a lot of us doing that, right? Almost like you want to get through the lessons faster. 5 of Wands on the bottom. Okay. So you find your strength, however, here, okay? 3 of Coins. By embracing the fact that despite you've got 3, you don't have to manage them all at once, right? You can manage one, and you can let the others be tiny terrors, okay, or whatever. And it's a beautiful energy of not letting the monsters take you down, and keeping your peace, your sense of mind. I've been through the war, and I've kept my sense of mind. And so you start to embody the fact that, right, like, sometimes alone time is good. 5 of Pentacles. Sometimes alone time is good. I often find solace in my closet, right? Or in the shower. Sometimes that solace in the closet is about releasing tears, where I can do it without letting my tears impact my daughter's energy, right? When I was younger and she was younger, sometimes it was like, Mama just needs some chocolate, and she's not going to share with you because you are lactose intolerant, and Mama going to go in the closet for a minute, and Mama going to eat her bar, and then Mama going to come out, and you're not going to know, right? Like, it's a sense of solace that sometimes we have to find that space, and it's outside of the sanctuary that we would expect. It's outside of what you would consider norm. Okay. The Fool in reverse. Okay. Just because you're not in a relationship yet, or just because your relationship isn't working out the way you wanted it to yet, doesn't mean you have to restart the whole wheel, right? Unless you've just finished releasing karma and you pause, integrate, and start a new cycle. Okay, and you do have the next 15 days to work on that, if that's where you've been. Okay, yeah, because 4 of Wands in reverse. Some of you have to release that idea that the relationship is the focus. The relationship is not the focus. Even though your relationships become the center of your life and the center of your light, and they expand you so much, and they are beautiful messes, right? It also is about that greater purpose, okay? That sacredness of what is being created at a larger scale within that beautiful celebratory energy. And sometimes it's okay for both energies to stop, right? To stop and just take a moment and just be. Look within each other. Look within yourself. See what it comes through with. Yeah, the sun. The happiness can't shine through if you don't take a minute to look at it. Okay. And so you are in between the worlds, the Hermit. Okay, in between the worlds, you are walking with this very spiritual energy, this white stag. Okay, where you are understanding your shadows, understanding your war, understanding that you are a warrior, but you don't have to go to war. You can release that part, right? Because you can start becoming the peacemaker. Okay, the rebirth is releasing judgment. Okay, judgment in reverse, releasing choices. And I kind of love the idea, what they were showing me earlier. It was it was the time of day when I had the aha of Cetus and doing this with you, and I finally got what they were telling me. I looked at my watch and it was 8:57, and they said 8:12:20. Okay, this was talking about choices being the lovers, choices being, right, making the decisions. And part of this is just giving away that decision and knowing that you are attuned to the frequency of love. Because love, they've told me, right, is not necessarily an emotion, it's our frequency. We are all attuned to the frequency of love. We just have to choose to allow it. And that opens us up to these little changes, right? 8 of Cups in reverse, crossed by the Queen of Pentacles, right? When you quit running from what makes you feel good, what makes you feel right, what makes you feel aligned to love, and it's like you found your home and you don't have to run anymore. Okay, so that's a very beautiful energy there. And on the bottom, right, there's death. So this is a huge cycle that we are moving through. And Page of Wands, it does open up something new. Okay. So, right, we're moving into the sacred site. All right, the Wasi. Okay, what is going on with our turning wheel, right? Our wheel is turning because of all of this. So what's happening in this new life cycle with this turning wheel? Okay, the Empress is waking. Okay, yes, we're going to get a chakra energy later, but not yet. The Empress is waking. Okay, the Empress is dreaming of those wishes right now, and it's under the moon, right? And the moon is carrying these frequencies to what's being born here with us after death, okay, as the big wheel spins. And all of us are collectively a part of this. Okay, there we go, under the moon, in your divine here. Each of these full moons is really going to pull us underwater, okay, to feel the flow of those emotions so that we can really feel the collective expansion going on here. That's why we're starting right here, right? And it's quite beautiful. Okay, and as we begin this shift, this new cycle, right? Again, because at the end here, we are going to get over this idea that separation is negative. We have to realize that we are always of one, right? We are all a source. And even in our separate times, we're not really separate. So it's okay to go into those separated states sometimes, because some of what you're working on is for the collective, but it has to be done solo. But, okay, there's that 10 of Pentacles. that is what creates the magic. Relationships, person, place, or things, you can't hold on to them so tightly that you can't let them run off and play or do their own thing. And it's very important that you're realizing that the sacredness here is that, again, you're always connected. It's never truly separate, even when you are separated. And that's what makes this a very beautiful energy. Okay. The higher energy that's coming to us here is that Knight of Cups, right? Is that you are the frequency of love. You are a magical unicorn. Okay. You're here. You're in Mindset Unicorn land. You are a magical unicorn, and you can always write your own love letters and buy yourself flowers, and you don't actually need someone for that. Being in love is not because you need them. It's not part of the hierarchy of the human needs. It's the frequency that you're already attuned to. So if you can love yourself, you can love another. And that's the mind shit that is shifting, okay? So, yeah, it does kind of cause you a little bit of having to harmonize some of these emotions differently between your heart and your mind. And there's a little bit of forgiveness, I feel like, that you're going to have for yourself for some of those old thought processes. But you know what? You don't know until you know. You're not there until you're there. And that's okay, right? Because at the center of this, right, again, it's this idea that energetically you're never alone, right? You're never fully without that light, because that light comes from within you. And that's crossing, right? Two of Cups in reverse, even when you're not in your ideal situation. Energetically, do you see that these two are still connected, right? There's always that connection. You are not broken, and your bonds are there to all of humanity and beyond, okay? They're like, that's something important to remember, Ten of Swords, as you're healing these wounds and coming into this new shift. It's a big cycle, okay? And what I love is that, again, I feel like this 8-8 portal is going to be really huge in the mix of all of this, right? It will be a time where we're kind of dead center of this big shift, right? And so literally we will be kind of at that moon, that south, that shedding. No, we're not gonna go there. Lay back down. Yeah, look. Fill your cup, 3 of Cups. Fill your cup and embody the moon and the sun. Okay, you need to lay down. Come on. We're not barking, or I'm going to take you. Do you want to go to your room? You want to go to the crate? No, I don't think so. So let's be good. Okay, so the sun, again, last night I wouldn't have seen Venus if it wasn't for that bright sun being so close. So the closeness of this sun and the closeness of the happiness that you're working towards here, right? Be patient with it, because Spirit is saying, right, this is a time, especially at the 8-8 portal, of filling your own cup, okay? Loving on yourself, right? We had 4 of Wands in reverse over here. We've got 4 of Wands in the upright, right? You don't have to celebrate in the center, okay, in the lodge. You're starting to come out of the lodge. You're starting to come out of that center. You're starting to go into your own individuality, which is creating your own individual new life path, okay? An embodiment of strength, which means that sometimes you are a little gentler. Sometimes that Leo energy follows you and you're able to roar. But the lion masculine doesn't roar unless they have to. And it's as a protective energy. The feminine lion goes out and hunts and brings things back. So I feel like a lot of this is knowing that your heart is going outside of you and bringing things back. So this 3D world that you're creating has that greater substance. Okay. Very beautiful here in the center, right? Because without that, you are missing out on so much, because you're letting these downloads fall behind you because you're resisting that love. Okay. And within that love is the shift of the mindset, this Ace of Swords. I love this because she's clearing out past lives, okay, past thoughts, past beliefs, and rewriting the code, re-encoding herself with the moonlight, okay? And in this moon ceremony that I did, I went really far back in time, and I have felt like I'm at war, right? Those of you that follow the channel know that I have been dealing with this really low iron, which is genetic, and finally they're going to do infusions if my MRI that I did last night turns out well, right? And as I was in the MRI, all of the angels, the archangels came, and they were being very protective. And Archangel Michael, which has told me to call Michael, Archangel Michael came and just held me, right? And then Ganesha showed up again. And I'm going to have to go back. I was too tired, but I'm going to have to go back to see what Ganesha was talking about the last time I talked with Ganesha. But it was just kind of like this. Ganesha was saying, listen, I am still here, right? And the idea is that second life, okay, I'm getting it, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, second life. Ganesha is about second lives, because Ganesha, right, passed, but then was able to come back and live again. And it was this miracle for this child, okay? And it's a beautiful energy that you are going into a second life here, okay? And this second life is going to be beautiful and magical, and you're not going to look the way you did to others in that past life. And so the past lives that I saw, right, because I've been eating all this negativity with all of this and with the divorce and everything, right, which is why donation links are down below, because I'm my own lawyer now, and it took me 2 weeks to file a motion, and I did it wrong, and then I was upset with myself that I did something wrong because I had to correct it. Well, I'm not a lawyer, right? Instead of applauding myself for being like, oh, you've done so much, right? Like I was like, oh, negative, right? So I've got to quit warring within myself. And so in my journey today, I saw myself as a medieval knight, and I had taken off my big helmet. I still had, right, like the metal mesh covering thing on the head, right? And I was sitting there with my sword, my truth. And I just kind of like, I'm just tired of fighting this war. And then I saw myself in Mongolia, and I was this Mongolian, like, I'd say probably a woman as well. It was hard to tell, but sitting with this calf, right? The beginnings of abundance, the beginnings of this new life, and a dog, loyalty, right? Being strong, being loyal to yourself and your loyalty to your land. And I could see in the distance that there was like a cannon, like a very, like I would say a very early idea of what a cannon would be, being shot off. And yet just sitting there with my calf and my dog and being like, no, I'm sitting here with this land and I'm holding space for this land, right? And so I feel like there is this holding space for yourself in all of that as you are shifting this mindset, right? And that's a different relationship with yourself than you've had in the past, and that is going to look different to others. Okay, And so you're releasing, right, this need to just rush through everything, right? Like, there comes a bit of embracing that you have these 6 cycles to work through all of this. There's an embracing that you can take it slower. You don't have to rush through everything. You don't have to force it, right? You can flow. Again, why did flow come through? Because the moon is helping us to flow through those emotions, to flow through all of this gently, not feeling the pace of it all, okay? Because the new life container is not what we expected, and so Spirit doesn't want us to have expectations, right? No expectations of what it is on the other side, beyond the fact that you're just starting to listen to that flow more, and you're starting to follow that energy into your new life. Because the rebirth here, there we go, the Lovers, is union, okay? It is making that choice, right? That we take the time, we look in each other's eyes, right? That can be you walking past a soul bond on the street, and you are never going to see them in this lifetime again, but you recognize them, and you look in their eyes, because we all recognize each other, and you just give them that smiling eyes, right? Like, I see you, you see me, have a great life, right? It's a beautiful energy, okay? And the little changes that will come from this, you'll learn to have more hope when you can't see any, okay? When the war starts piling up, you'll learn to have more hope through all of this, right? Because you'll remember, the secret is that that sun is always shining. Ace of Pentacles, and there's always something growing, okay, which is very beautiful. So let's pull out a couple of moon cards here for you. Thank you. Surrender to the divine of the full moon, of course. The knowing is there. You're getting the downloads, you're getting the codes, you're getting all of this to integrate. It's all there, okay? You just have to allow the flow of letting it just come, okay? And just being with it, and acknowledge that the wheel is turning, and that it's okay to not pace it, okay? I mean, we used to have horses and carriages, right? And you didn't really know how fast your horse was going. It wasn't like you could look down and be like, oh, my horse is going 30 miles per hour, right? But now everything's structured and timed, and the speed limit is this, and you have to go this, and you got to do this, right? There is a little bit of recognizing that within, taking the rest when you need it, right? And releasing things. Where do you need to release? Okay, that waning moon, okay, where do you need to release this old belief system that you're not connected to your counsel, because you truly are, okay? No matter whether you want to buy that or not. Time to give rather than take, right? The beautiful part of all of this is in your heart space. And the new moon energy that will come as you go through these cycles is just a reminder that this is all part of the ascension of the zodiacs, and that all of our hearts are expanding and growing. And to have that gratitude when you do that intention with the new moon, remembering to have the gratitude for all of the frequencies of love around us, whether we are deeply connected with them or not, okay? You're very close to achieving your goal, right? Again, meditate and contemplate. What does union mean to you? Okay, because that's how you're going to set those intentions when you get to those new moons throughout this cycle, is because it's all about reaching your goals. And again, the underlying here is that releasing that negativity, right? Again, I said I was eating all of that negative energy. But, right, with death comes rebirth. Knowing that nothing comes of a situation that only stays in the dark, right? The seed goes in the dark, but then it grows roots and it sprouts and it comes out, right? Nothing stays in the dark forever. And that's a very important part of the puzzle here, right? So hold your vision. Hold your vision of all of this with the moon. So let's go ahead and pull out, okay, a chakra card here to work on. Of course, it's about patience of the adventure, right? Be patient with this adventure. I am a seeker of the truth and wisdom. I find happiness in the process of witnessing what waits around the corner in my life, bringing me the joy and passion of a new horizon. I relish this newness with an open heart. It is all about that heart space and celebrating that and speaking from that heart. And some of you are releasing karma. Be grateful for that, okay? Because again, on the bottom here, we've got gratitude is a circle. As gratitude arises within my being, I feel the joy of generosity. Generosity by its very nature swells the hearts of the receiver, bringing gratitude full circle. When you smile at someone and they smile back, full circle. Okay? So, I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. I'm going to be doing more work each month with Cetus and Ophiuchus, right, with Mita and Wasi. And we'll just keep turning that new wheel, that new life container forward. All right? I love you guys so much. Bye.